Greetings, listeners, and welcome back to the Wednesday Night Crew Plays Brindlewood Bay. This is part 2 of 3 of the Great Brindlewood Bay Bake-Off. What will the Mavens find out this time about the presumed murder of Paul Riviera? Will they gather up enough clues? Will Birdie flirt more with Captain Staggett? Will Sue give more hugs? Only time will tell. Let's listen in.
All right, so welcome back for 4/6 of the Wednesday Night Crew. We lost 2 from last week. We gained 1. Either way we go, I think we're good to go. So we are playing part 2, potentially last part, of Brindlewood Bay and the adventure, the Jolly Good Baking Show. The Great Brindlewood Bay Bake-Off. That's hard to say. Featuring the Jolly Good Baking Show. So, I'd like to take a moment before we jump back in to introduce Blanche Devereaux. So Blanche, if you could please share a little bit about yourself. Please do include because the majority of the Mavens are widowers, right? So what happened to your husband? That's one thing to share. And then you would also share your cozy activity and your cozy place. And I think those are the main things, right? That we did before? Did I miss anything? Yeah, good. Okay. So Blanche, please introduce yourself.
So Blanche starts storming up the lawn, and in this long white frilled up gown stomps her way over to Birdie, and she says, "Well, Miss O'Malley, yet again you're trying to keep me from being part of stealing the show. You told me 4 o'clock, and clearly I am late. You all started at noon."
Oh, mon ami, Blanche, it's so good to see you. Must have been an oversight on Birdie's part. We welcome you here. We are so glad you are here, especially since Esther took ill. It'll be nice to have you here because she is not feeling so well.
Yeah, and I guess we'll just have to enjoy this delicious pecan pie at a later date. Maybe tea at my house tomorrow. By the way, what have you all been up to? I've been spending my afternoon scrapbooking in the tea house, just biding my time, waiting for this event. And so her cozy activity is scrapbooking, and cozy place is the tea house on the corner.
Blanche, you should come down to the library. I also do the scrapbooking in the biblioteca. It is a little bit not so quite French, but also a little bit Espanol. And we can scrapbook together. But of course, it is a good way to use your little gray cells in an artistic manner, not just always the logic and always the facts, but to be a little more creative. So yes. How is the tea house?
Well, it's quiet unless I'm there.
Well, we are glad to have you again.
Yvonne, you're not supposed to be clipping articles from the magazines at the library.
I pay my taxes just as much as you.
Now, Blanche, I told you 4 o'clock because I know you love your beauty rest, and I figured you needed to sleep in a lot for that.
Ooh.
And I thought Dr. Jane was the one who liked the felines and was catty.
Well,
regardless, there has been a murder, of course, as there usually are around these parts. The Paul Riviera was murdered. We don't even know how, and apparently someone was trying to blow up Consuela as well. I take it personally. I'm personally offended by that, because if they trying to take out Consuela, it's like they're trying to take out me.
It is a fact. All of us are in danger. We must solve this murder.
Well,
It
But
gets
as,
even more
we could use
confusing.
your pecan pie and your help, of course.
It's even more confusing because somebody, perhaps Esther, had IBS like Scott Lamb, so that's suspicious. And somebody's run off. All right, I forgot his name.
Phyllis.
Somebody run off as Phyllis because of she was selling her oven mitts. That seems to have been disrupted. She was saying something about she got a confusing message about don't sell oven mitts at the show because she'd regret it. And it looks like there's somebody who is out to drive us off from solving the murder.
well, that is a shame, and we'll have to look into it. But I guess showing up late is probably worked in my favor, because I always look my best in the dusk hours.
It is called the golden hour, I believe. Yes.
Yes. When nobody can see it, we all have eye problems at this time of night. This time of day.
So it's as you
She
are,
speaks, of course, of our cataracts, not necessarily anything about you.
so as you're bantering back and forth, and just a quick side note, I don't remember the accents. They're not going to likely be the same. It is what it is. It's fine. Sue, one of the hosts, comes up to you, Blanche, and is like, "Oh, you made it. I was wondering if you were going to make it. Oh, give me a hug, Blanche. It's so good to see you. I was very concerned.
Dear, yes.
I think you're going to have a hard time, though. I mean, you did miss the first round, but we'll figure out a way to work it out. Wait a minute. Is that pecan pie you have there?
Pecan, yes.
Well, if the other contestants don't object, we could just review this pie now, and then we could go into the cake competition, maybe. Does that sound okay with you?
Will you let the cat walk all over Blanche's pie like you did mine?
It's only fair.
A cat will be nowhere near my pie.
Yeah, who did that, actually?
Mr. Pumpkin Spice walked on.
Yeah,
You know how cats like jump up on the counter and
because
everything.
it was how was your pie a disaster? How was your pie a disaster, a disappointment?
Now, wait a minute. Is that catnip I smell? Do you think pumpkin spice was? Is this another clue that pumpkin spice ruined the pie? Was it sabotage?
Well, I would have said no. He just hits the sauce sometimes. But after what happened to Phyllis and Esther, then maybe somebody is really out to get all of us. Blanche, you're our secret weapon. They didn't expect to find you here.
Well, the Southern lady knows how to walk brisk and with authority. I seem to always just be able to walk in places I like.
Sue says, so come, Blanche. Let's bring you up front to the judges' table. Unfortunately, as you well know, we just have Jane, our single judge, because Paul has unfortunately run into some very unfortunate circumstances.
He's been murdered, dear.
He's not alive anymore. He's not alive.
We can say murder all we like. They're probably going to bleep it out before they broadcast the show.
Oh, pardon me, Bertie. How about this? He was brutally killed in his trailer. Is that better for you?
I mean, that's truth. Why beat around the bush?
And as Sue is walking you up to Jane to judge your pie, Blanche, one of the NPCs, Scott Lamb, he sees you come up with the pie and he's like, no, 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 no. Where did she come from? And why is she competing if she wasn't here? She can't make it stuff at home and bring it in here. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. And Sue says, no. You you were kicked off this before. Well, that's surely different. Can't believe. And you hear him mutter, can't believe you would let this bitch come out of nowhere and do like this. You hear some pretty harsh criticism coming from Scott Lamb.
If one of the other contestants has a allergy to pecans, then that's for them to live with. But no one else should be deprived of a slice of my world famous pecan pie. So I made it at home, not to contaminate the tables. Thank you.
So, let's see. I pick Birdie. Birdie was, so Blanche has brought the pie up to be judged. Is her pecan pie a success or a disaster? Or I should say a triumph or a disaster.
I would say, I mean, as much as it pains me to admit it, due to our back and forth, our little, we're frenemies, you know, I think that's obvious, but it is a triumph. She knows her way around a pecan. She knows her way around a kitchen. And as Birdie will tell you, a lot of people want a taste of her pie.
Oh, Birdie.
Or have tasted her pie.
All right, so
sound like my fourth and sixth husbands.
So you have said it's a triumph.
It is absolutely a triumph.
So let's go to the scene then. So Sue says, "Okay, let's roll camera. Let's try to capture some of this. This will probably be some good little section here." And so then the cameraman who conveniently looks like this guy, and his name's Buck. He's pretty handsome. He's a Hallmark movie type of looking handsome guy, and he's filming. He looks a little bit emotionally distraught because he actually cared about Paul Rivera, probably not as much as he cares about Paul Rivera's wife, but that's not for this moment right here.
Hey-o.
So the camera is rolling, and Sue says, "Well, welcome back, everyone. We do have quite a surprise. It appears we had 2 drop out, but we had a new contestant come in who was initially supposed to be here and then didn't seem to be here, but now is here, and they brought a pie. So we're going to bend the rules a little bit of tradition, and we're going to allow Blanche's pie to be judged by Jane. So if you please." And Jane looks and says to you, Blanche, "Well, what is it we have here, dear?"
Well, this is my famous pecan pie. These pecans came from a beautiful plantation down in Georgia, near where I'm from. The custard is a mix of a French vanilla with a spice blend that I wouldn't reveal to anyone, including Mr. Buck there. She gives him a nice smile. And the crust is as flaky as an angel's wings. It's fluffy as an angel's wings.
All right. It's like, well, I mean, it looks rather impressive. And she takes out a fork tugs a fork off the table, and takes a forkful off of the slice of pie that's in front of her, eats it, and she's chewing. And she's got her one hand up and her finger tapping on her chin. She's thinking very intently. She says, well, Blanche, my dear, this is rather lovely. Rather lovely.
As are you.
I'm impressed. And Jane is not a woman who's easily impressed. So kudos to you. Well done. Well done.
Thank you kindly.
And yeah, so you are successful. So you have a little bit of a leg up here. In the midst of most assuredly over Yvonne, and Birdie / Consuela. You're actually, I think you come out a little bit ahead on Birdie, which I can't imagine Birdie's really happy about that.
Yeah. Nice try, Birdie. As in like the time.
Well, I mean, if Consuela had her own kitchen at home, I'm sure she could have really put something together too. But they made an exception, as one usually does for you.
Smile goes far in this world.
So all of you go back to your station. Birdie, you and Consuela get guided to we'll say Esther's station. That would be Emily, her station, so that you can do the next round there. So what we're going to do, so round 2 is cakes. And what you are going to do, and you'll have one of 2 options. You can either find a picture of a fantastic cake on your phone, hold it up to the camera, give it a quick description, or if you don't have to find a picture and you can just describe a cake. So I'll give you a second. I will give you a second to look through that. I'll be back in one moment, and we'll pick up on what your cakes are going to be. So, and feel free to talk amongst yourselves if you'd like about how to approach the mystery, and I'll be back in just 1 minute.
All right. I know I'm not a participant in this, but I did make a microwave cake that turned out all right. I will put that picture of that in the Discord.
Quick Googling of cakes, Southern cakes, didn't come up with anything crazy.
All right. You guys good to go?
Possibly.
Some intense work happening right now.
When do you need us to be ready?
Whenever you're ready. Just as each of you are ready, just tell me.
All right.
Well, I guess I was late before. I'll be early this time. And she presents her Southern. Oh, that's probably not going to turn out.
No, it's right there. Right there.
Southern
nice
Lane cake. This is layers of angel cake. So light they may just fly off the plate themselves. With a beautiful whipped heavy cream and layered with bits of candied fruits from the South.
Very nice. Who's next?
I, of course, made the famous Belgian croquembouche.
Oh, nice.
The Belgian wedding cake. Perhaps you've heard of it as the French wedding cake, but of course, we in Belgium created it first. It was the same recipe I used when I was married to my husband, Harold. May he rest in peace or rest wherever he is right now, possibly alive. But we had a delicious croquembouche, and I present it to you here today.
Nice,
Bonjour.
nice.
Gracias. Dankeschön.
I love this. Let's go to Jane, Dr. Jane next. Microwave cake for one.
This is entirely out of the game, but it is possible to bake a cake in a microwave. I have done it.
So what we're seeing, what is a yellow cake with a...
it's a lemon chiffon.
Okay, a lemon chiffon cake for one. Got it. And then Birdie,
All right,
What did Consuela make?
Well, I'm having. Well, as you all know, my son Patrick went through his abominable goth phase when he was younger. It was, oh, terrible. He thought he would, just wore all black. I thought he was a vampire or some such nonsense. We had to do something for his birthday, and so Consuela came up with this dark chocolate blood orange cake. Let me just change my my settings here on my camera. Hold on a second, please. Do not blur my background. All right. There's the chocolate is so dark and the blood orange is just, the orange and the chocolate really come together. So blood orange, dark chocolate. He was over the moon with it, which made sense because he only came out during the moon. Ugh, it was terrible, that phase. Ugh, all he wore was black. Ugh, it's terrible. Anyways, he told me a thing or two about the spirit world, which was, I guess, suppose kind of interesting, especially with our line of work as it is now. But, oh, yeah, anyways, the dark chocolate cake is delicious. It's so rich, so dreamy. You'll love it.
So, I would like to know really quick. I would like to know, Yvonne, tell me, Blanche's cake, is it a disappointment or a
Triumph for
success?
tragedy?
Yeah, there you go. Triumph for tragedy.
I'm going to let the dice tell the tale. It is a slight tragedy. Not as bad as it could have been, but something went wrong with it.
Okay.
Remind me again, which cake was yours? It was I think
Southern Lane cake.
Yeah, so hold on to the thought of what was wrong.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to that in a moment. So that's Blanche's. So then, Birdie, how was Yvonne's?
Yvonne had the croquembouche.
Croquembouche.
Yeah, that thing.
Cream puffs. Croquembouche.
All right, well, let's let the decide. Let's go. Odds bad, evens good.
Okay.
It was a triumph.
Wonderful. Dr. Jane, what about Birdie's? Or sorry, Consuelos and Birdie's.
Did she make
the dark chocolate blood orange
yeah.
cake?
Oh, right. She is more used to making a tres leche, so this is the first time she's done this in competition, and she put a little too much blood orange in it, and it came out claggy.
So would that be was it a tragedy or a mild tragedy?
It is a mild tragedy.
Okay. Got it. And then Blanche.
It'd be a major tragedy if Paul were still there.
Right. Blanche, what about Dr. Jane's cake for one?
The
microwave cake for one. Tragedy or triumph?
You'll never know. I ate it myself.
All right. I'll roll this standard 10 or higher because that seems gracious given the description.
Okay.
Oh, well, it was a 9.
So mild tragedy then, we'll say. Okay.
I'll have I've made several of them. And let's say that the first bunch were a little bit eggy.
So the camera cuts back over to Sue and says, and she says, well, we had the opportunity to see everyone's cakes, and we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back to the judging. And what is the so you go to commercial break, and then Sue says, okay, all of you are baking, and I'm sure you would like to take a break, so let's take a good solid 30 minutes and allow you some time to relax. We'll prep the cakes for judging, and just see you back here on 7:30. Okay, thank you. And she sort of waddles off a little bit, back to her relaxation area. We have. Let's see. These are the areas.
Don't go too far back.
These are the these are the areas that you can investigate that are on set. You've got Timothy's trailer, and Timothy is the other host, Timothy Boosh. Then you have Jane's trailer, and you have Sue's trailer, and these are the areas that you can try to check out.
Wait, Sue and Timothy are judges. Jane
No,
is
Sue and Timothy
Sue and Timothy are the hosts. Jane's a
Jane
judge.
is the judge, correct?
Jane's the remaining judge.
Yes, and the judge's tent is like kind of like a hangout space for when they're not at their trailers.
Yep. Do we split the party? Cover the most ground, my fellow mavens.
I think that makes the most sense. There's so many trailers. There's many of us women, many of us trailers. Let's do that.
I shall go to the judge's tent.
I specifically did not call dibs on Buck because I figured that Blanche would be able to handle that angle better than I.
You can see Blanche is already talking with him. Oh, Buck. But he's not in a trailer, right? He's just...
Right now, you're all deciding where you're going to go. You got a 30-minute break.
Yeah.
Remind me again who Timothy is.
Timothy and Sue are the hosts.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're the hosts.
And Jane
Timothy's
is
one that's
the
just
judge.
like the...
Jane is
Yeah.
the judge.
Timothy's
All
the
right.
weird, the awkward. He's awkward and tells bad jokes and tries to do weird physical comedy in inappropriate times.
Got
At least
it.
that's what you see on the outside.
Yeah, I will. I'm afraid to go to Sue's trailer. What if she wants a hug? I can't handle that. Yeah, I'll check out Timothy's trailer.
Okay.
See what kind of secrets he does behind the scenes.
You're going to go
Sounds
put
good.
the judge up again.
So wait, let's see this. Okay. Gotcha. And then Yvonne's going to the judge's tent. Birdie's going to Timothy's trailer. Where's Dr. Jane going?
I'm developing a theory that perhaps Buck or Mrs. Riviera are somehow involved. So while Blanche is going to interview Buck, I will interview Mrs. Riviera.
Okay. That sounds fine to me. Allow me to... Donna Riviera. Donna Riviera. Okay, so only one person is going to a trailer. So I feel like it's appropriate that we maybe start with her. And Yvonne, do you have Birdie, do you have Consuela with you? Or what is she doing?
No, I think Consuela is because she's had a failure. I've made her go look
Okay.
at some cookbooks and whatnot.
He made her go. Okay, that's fair. So then, yeah. So you head up to Timothy's trailer. As you're walking towards, ultimately you don't know that this is Timothy's trailer. We're just identifying it out of game that it is.
Got it.
And you're going up to a trailer, and from what you could tell, like everybody but Sue is out and milling about in the judge's tent. So just so you know, like who you see. So what would you like to do?
Well,
Now, to help out here a little bit, you can, if you check your reference right for your moves, you got see if any of your moves can apply. You've got your Maven move. You've got the reference moves, in the reference guide, you've got your day move, your night move, the cozy move, the gold crown mysteries move, which is a once per mystery move that you can do, which is pretty cool. It's got some fun stuff there, and um, those different moves are to help with the rolls that you make outside of any times where I would ask you to make a roll with a certain ability. So, having said that as a refresher, what would you like to do?
I think I would go with let's go with the day move.
Okay.
I think the risky thing that I'm going to try to break into this trailer, or just like that's the risky move, is just to while it looks like everybody is busy, I'm going to pop into the trailer and see what's going on.
Sounds great. How about you give me your roll?
How about I do that? That's a 12, baby. 2 6s.
So, describe what it looks like when you do what's intended.
Well, with just a clever credit card, move. It's just like in the movies where you just, the credit card just in there, click, it pops open. Do a quick glance, everybody. Like at the judge's tent, everybody's like laughing, ha 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 ha, and then, I slip right in to Timothy's trailer.
So, you go into this trailer. I'm just going to kind of describe the environment for you, right? So you see it's a pretty open trailer space. It's cozy, but yet it feels spacious. A lot of black, a lot of dark.
Ugh. It's like Patrick's room.
And you see there's a really nice record player on a side table and a stack of a few vinyls. You see a chair next to this turntable. It's a cushy chair, but not a recliner. And there's like a black hoodie draped over that chair. And then you see towards the other end of the trailer, you see that there is a wardrobe, as well as another side table with a couple candles. You also notice like there's like a notepad and a pen and pencil and stuff that's like on the same table next to the vinyl.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look at the notepad and the vinyls.
Okay. So you there's a list. It's a notepad, probably like a 5x7 notepad, and at the top of it says demands, and demands is underlined. And on the list there's the following items with check marks next to them. Record player, check. Records from, and then it's got Bauhaus, check. The Cure, check. And Southern Death Cult with a check.
No Joy Division.
And it says Black Hoodie, check. And Black Robe, check. Antique Candelabra, no check. And then what are 2 other demands on this list that are unchecked?
Unchecked. Hold on, give me a minute to let me
problem.
Think about this.
Taxidermied cat.
Hey, don't stay in your lane.
There's like a special eyeliner from like a London boutique store.
Okay.
That
so
was
rare eyeliner.
Rare eyeliner that wasn't found, and then bigger trailer than Paul is unchecked.
Nice. Nice. That's good. And please make sure too, as we're going through these things, guys, and the ideas that pop up, like uh anything and everything that's contributed is ripe for clues to help really try to flesh out what the mystery could be, right? So be creative in your mode of thinking. And when you think the opportunity is appropriate, we can try to solve this bad boy later. And you can all sort of contribute to that solve. So one other thing that happens while you're in here, Birdie, is that as you're reading this list, and you're kind of going, you recognize one of the band names as it is potentially one of the bands that your son listened to back in his goth phase. And it's really funny that you just brought up goth. It just worked. It wasn't even, it just happened. More importantly though, Timothy, like your takeaway, Birdie, because you know, after these few mysteries you guys have gone on, you're starting to get a good feel for this, right? And so you see Timothy, how he presents himself outside, and you see this trailer, and you're trying to piece like this connection doesn't make sense. How you see Timothy, how he shows himself, how he behaves versus what's in this trailer, and how like just gloomy and dark it is. And as you're thinking about this, you can hear this distinct buzzing noise, like a lot of like flies buzzing around, like in close by, like
So
in the trailer.
So Timothy does not give off the gloomy goth vibes.
No,
outside.
nope,
Gotcha.
nope.
All right.
Timothy's like, whoa, wacky. Yeah, kind of like, yeah.
I'm confused because like I'm like really putting the Great British Baking Show onto this, so I'm thinking of like the kind of co-host of that show who's kind of like wears black and eyeliner, and I'm like, he could be gothy, but
got it.
So Timothy is clearly not like that. He's more
right,
just a goofy,
right,
straight laced.
Yep.
But on the inside is all got it.
Right.
Okay, very good.
Right.
That's. What if he's secretly one of these goths? What is that god awful noise?
And you look to an area that's just so like if you envision the record player and everything in the middle of the trailer and the wardrobe and stuff on one end, on the other end is where this buzzing is coming from, and it's a small like little dining table area, and there's a bowl of some fruit on the table, and from where you are at the record table at the record player, it's a little bit of it's a small walk over there to the dining table. But you can see out of the corner of your eye that it looks like there's fruit, but there's a lot of flies buzzing around it.
Ooh, awful. What was you're about to say a band name that, or was that just in general like a?
No, I was just saying that you recognize earlier. I said you recognize one of the band names as one
gotcha.
that like your kid listened to during his goth phase.
All right, very good. Okay.
But yeah, that's what you hear. I don't know if Birdie's the type to go any closer to a bunch of bugs flying around or not.
Oh no, with bugs, it's just too nasty for her. She backs away, and she's ready to take the information to the other mavens.
Okay. Can you do me a favor though? Can you roll me 2d6, please?
I sure can.
And I would like it to be. Let me see here. I'd like you to apply the reason ability attribute to that if you have one.
All right. Well, it looks like it looks like it just has a 1, like that grayed out 1, so I add 1 to it. Is that what I'm?
I think so.
Okay. Well,
I think. But I don't. Well, no. You know what? I think the number is just assorted like that. So like you add 1 to one of these abilities.
Right.
So then in other words, right? I think. Yeah. So like, it feels like. So with composure, it looks like
my understanding is that those gray out numbers are what we start at, and then
correct,
you're allowed to add 1 at the start of the game for your character. Yep. And I had a special ability that allowed me to add 1 elsewhere. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. So for you, so reason would be then a +1 unless you +1
Unless
to your
I
roll,
added a
unless
one.
you added a 1 to
Right,
that.
gotcha. So I did not add to reason.
Okay.
So there's just
roll
that
with
grayed out 1. So that's
Yep.
a 6 altogether.
Okay. Yeah, you don't. You're like, that's gross. That smells nasty. Ew. And so you're leaving with the information you have?
Yes, that is what
Okay.
I'm doing.
So you walk out of the trailer and you're heading back towards the rest of the group. Why don't we shift over to, I'd like to shift over to Yvonne.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to the tent, is that correct?
The judge's tent, correct.
Okay.
I'm very interested in it was the other contestant, Scott, who was muttering under his breath about
Yeah.
Blanche getting extra stuff, and then we heard that the host had said he had been kicked off before.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm interested in him, but who else is around at the judge's tent and what's going on over here?
So you see you see Scott, you see Don, you see Scott, and you see Melanie, the two NPC contestants, sitting in different areas of the tent, not near each other. Scott is doom scrolling on his phone with a ferocity, the likes of which you've never seen. And then you see I already forgot his name. It's hard to remember names.
Keith, Buck, Timothy, Sue?
Timothy. You see Timothy, and he's sitting leaning back in a folding chair with his feet up on the table, and then he has his phone, and he's just like looking at stuff, and he's looking around and just looking at stuff. When he looks around, he's not really he's just blankly looking. He's not really paying attention.
So Melanie and Scott sitting apart from each other, and then Timothy is there, and then I'm walking in. Correct?
Yes. Yep.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. Bonjour, monsieur. How is everyone on this fine afternoon? Melanie, Scott, are you happy with your cakes?
As you walk in, Timothy, it's like you kind of jump scare him, and he's like leaning back in the chair, and he's like, oh, and he falls back in his chair, hitting the ground.
Oh, sir, monsieur, are you okay?
Well, as he falls, he does this weird side roll thing where he kind of almost like old school Jerry Lewis style, where he falls out of the chair and then kind of does a weird roll out of it and tuck and roll to stand up, and he kind of shakes it off, and he's like, I'm doing just fine, Yvonne. I don't know how to bake a damn thing. Did you know that? Did I tell you that? Don't know how to bake anything.
But you are so light on your feet. Perhaps a job as an acrobat would be for you. You should join the circus.
Not really my jam. Not my thing. But
yes.
Thanks for
the TV hosting is for you. Yes.
Yeah. It's great to just get out there, express my true self to people.
It is always good to be true to oneself. Yes.
Yeah.
I must agree.
Yeah.
And Mademoiselle Sue, you are happy, or it's not Sue, Mademoiselle Melanie. Melanie is a fine French name. You are you are happy with your cake for this round?
Melanie looks at you like she's kind of just she's sitting arms crossed in her chair, head down. She glances up at you with a furrowed brow. She's like, yeah, I am.
Yes. It's always good to be happy with your cake. I wish you the best of luck in this next round.
Yeah, thanks. Whatever.
And Monsieur Lam. But of course, you have much practice here, yes? You've been on the show before, I understand.
Not even, he's still scrolling on his phone. Not even really he kind of for a second you see him his head sort of when you say his name, his head kind of twitches and moves for a second, but then he it's not enough to pull him to your attention as he continues to go on his phone. And he's like, what the fuck? Seriously, this is bullshit. I can't believe I'm wasting my time with this at this point. And he's just getting mad, tapping on his phone, being very melodramatic.
You're not happy with your cake. You did so well in the first round. I would imagine that you will continue to do well. It's not a waste of time, of course.
And he's like, he stops scrolling. Darks, makes his screen go dark, puts his phone in his pocket. And he says, I am fine. My cake is fucking amazing. I need you to get off my back, please.
Oh, no. It's the sharing of ideas. But of course, yes, it is how one learns, is the sharing of ideas. And in fact, I'm wondering, as you make your cake, and this is where I would like to do it was called the meddling move.
Okay.
To search for a clue, conduct research, or otherwise gather information.
Okay.
And I'm going to truly meddle by going up to where Scott's cake is. But of course, Monsieur Lamb, this cake that you have, it is wonderful. And I wonder what sort of flour you use to make it rise so well. Let me see if I could figure it out on my own. And I break off a piece of cake off of his cake and bite into it to see if
God.
To truly meddle, to see if I can find out what sort of flour he's using.
You have to roll, right, for this?
Oh God, yes. I would imagine I have to roll.
Wonderful.
So I'm guessing the meddling move. What do you think? Like composure, presence, vitality?
So are you able to? You're able to pick the ability for it?
No, I guess I'm asking you what type of roll it is. Because it's.
Oh, okay. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get right back to. I was grabbing something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna right back to I want to take a look at the abilities real quick and see.
Because I'm not sure which one would be best for this.
Understood.
Because on the one hand, I'm trying to figure out like what sort of flour he used, just in case it might be a certain type of flour. But on the other hand, I'm also trying to
sabotaging his cake in front of him.
I'm taking a little bit from behind the back. I also want to see what his reaction is.
So to suss out the material, it is most assuredly reason for that.
So here's the thing. This is what I'm going to say, Bill. I have the same number for both. I have 2 for composure and 2 for reason. I guess it's almost like a 2 type of thing meddling. I'm going to reach for his cake and try to bite a piece off, which I'm saying is composure. And then if I'm able to get a bite, I would say it's reason. But in either case, what I'm really trying to see is what his reaction is to me trying to do this after.
Okay.
He already seems. So I'm going to make a roll.
Okay.
And it's only going to be a 6, which is not great.
So you go to grab the cake, and somehow you slip, and your hand just squishes like a third of the cake.
Oh no,
Yvonne, you have an inspiration die that you could have used.
Oh, I do.
You can use it. You can use it now.
What does that? What do I do? Get to re-roll?
So it gives you an extra. It's you roll a third die and take the best 2.
All right, then let me do that. I forgot about that.
But you only use it once.
Oh well.
It's once and gone.
I mean, it's almost as good to crush his cake, but it did not help.
Okay, so yeah, you crush that cake, and Paul's like, no. What did you do?
Oh,
what the hell did you do? I didn't want you to touch my shit.
It is not
touch
shit.
My cake?
I'm licking my fingers. It is not the feces. It is not the feces, my dear sir.
He hits your hand away from your mouth.
Oh no, it is good
not
cake.
Not like violently, as much as just like very haughtily, like kind of catty, where he's just like smacks your hand away. It's like, do not. You're ruining this for me. It's the same thing that happened to me last time. Why do I fuck this shit? And he just storms off in a direction away from the judge's tent towards some trailers and is just like heated. And as that happens Melanie just starts laughing.
Oh, mademoiselle, you saw it was an accident, yes?
All I saw was that you just made my chances that much better. So thanks.
No, no, and I start to like try to reform the cake. If he presents this face forward, it will be okay, I'm sure. And I turn to Timothy's the host who's there as well, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Monsieur Timothy, you must admit it was an accident. I was not trying to, as you say, sabotage the cake. But I'm wondering, he mentioned this happened to him last time. What does he speak of here?
He takes one index finger, rings his collar, and makes kind of an over animated like yikes, and goes and says he looks at you and he's like, I don't know that I don't know that you really want me to give my opinion on that because yeah.
But yes, but of course, I do not want to harm him. But
It looked
I must know what happened in his previous.
it looked very purposeful. I mean, it really looked like you were trying to, and then his voice he's like, ruin him. He's like, and then he like clears his throat. I need you to roll me, I would like you to roll me a reason ability check, please.
Okay. That's much better. That's an 11.
Okay. As he does that, as his throat gets raspy, you get a very close look actually at the pendant that's kind of bouncing around on around his neck.
Mm.
And what Birdie, Blanche, what sort of symbol is on this pendant that is connected to this hidden Gothic side of him?
That would be just a skull.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see on this, like, the guy's sweatered up and stuff. I mean, like, look at this guy, he's corny. He's a slightly older guy. He's got this pendant around, that's kind of managed to sneak its way out from under his V-neck sweater. And there's a skull. It's like a flat silver skull pendant.
Interesting.
And he says, he's like, yeah, I don't know. And Melanie looks at you and she's like, didn't you make like a pile of donuts or something?
What did
you even make?
No. He's croquembouche. He's very
French donuts.
No, Belgian, and they are cream puffs.
Belgian donuts.
Cream puffs. You are aware of eclairs? They're very fine.
Well, yeah, that's like a hard donut. Yeah.
With cream.
Yeah, very aware.
And what cake did you make, mademoiselle?
Hey, don't worry about it. You'll see.
I'm right here. The judges said the cake is right there. Let me come take a look. I will have a taste and let you know how it is.
Hey.
Roll vitality as she tries to punch you.
Don't touch. Yeah, right. Don't touch my cake.
Very well.
Dr. Jane, what kind of cake did Melanie, the NPC contestant, make?
Let's see. Well, I guess she made a lemon chiffon, but not the kind from the microwave.
No, hers is a very legit pro lemon chiffon.
Chiffon, I believe, is French. Yes, it is. It just looks like a wonderful cake.
It just screams intimidation.
And mademoiselle, did you use a special type of flour with this cake?
She says, I swear to God, if you do to my cake what you did to his cake, you're not walking out of this tent.
Very well.
I've earned this. I've earned this win. Back off. Just back off.
There are other contestants as well, mademoiselle. Perhaps we'll see who wins and who loses.
Oh yeah, we will. And she goes and she gets back to her chair, but instead of sitting down, she moves her chair by her cake and sits right next to it, and just kind of arms folded, like just staring boldly at you.
I continued to lick my fingers. Do I notice anything special about the cake that the other guy made?
So did we establish what his cake was?
No.
Okay. So yeah, he made a cookies and cream cake, and but it's like, instead of Oreo cookies, it's actually cookie butter. So like it's like those Biscoff cookies ground up. So it's like it's weird, like cake slash with like ladyfinger. It's like this weird hybrid thing going on. But you can taste strong flavors of cream and Biscoff as you've eaten it. And you notice nothing else. I mean, no off flavor or anything like that. I mean, it could have been poison for all you know. I mean, you didn't even, so just like whatever.
I walk out very distinguished, as much distinguished as I can be, with cake all over my hand.
Yeah.
My hands behind my back, and I sort of proudly walk out of the tent and look at Timothy and say, yes, thank you very much. It is quite a pleasure, and I look forward to the judging. We will see you soon. By the way, his cake was not very good. I don't believe he would have won anyways.
Well, I mean, thanks, I guess. We're still going to judge it, though. We'll just cut from the other side.
Of course, yes.
We're just not going to we're not going to penalize him for the fact that you put your fist through it. But
I realize that I am playing Yvonne Perot-Moore's Clouseau from the Pink Panther than I am Hercule Poirot, but that's okay. I wish, I mean, I don't know what Blanche and Dr. Jane are up to, but I wish to gather around and share what I have learned with my other mavens at some point.
Let's cut to Blanche talking to Buck.
Well, Buck, remember, I don't have a good side or a bad side, but I do prefer you to film me to the on the left. That is to say, if you're not filming from on top of me, but we'll just leave that later. I have noticed, Buck, that you have a lot of cameras set up to get all these good angles for the show, and they've been filming the whole time.
True, ma'am. When I'm asked to roll, I roll film. So only when I'm asked to roll film do they run.
Okay. Well, I see there's this one over here. Out of game.
Yeah.
Where did the murder happen?
On his trailer. He was found on his trailer.
And that was
Paul's trailer.
Paul's trailer.
Paul's trailer.
Paul Riviera was
Okay.
the murdered judge.
Okay. So she goes, well, Buck, this is all so technical. You'll have to show me, how you do it. It's just so mind blowing that you're able to operate such advanced doohickeys. And she walks him over to one of the cameras that's was near Paul's trailer. And he's like, well, can you show me how this one works and what you filmed?
So I think I feel like you should roll presence for me to see if you're that influential.
So 2 dice +1.
Do you have a +1 in your presence?
Yep. Oh, 6, 5 +1 makes that
nice.
I mean, I just used one of the pre-gen character sheets and just wrote over it. So that's what
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Buck's like, well, sure. Yeah, we can go take a look. That sounds great. Yeah, sure. What did you want to know?
Well, she goes, why don't you show me all what you've recorded here? And what her intent is to look over some of the filming and watch some of the activity around Paul's trailer maybe as they're setting up and testing the cameras and whatnot.
Oh well. Oh man. Well, if you wanna, I mean, we still have a little bit of time before we come back. We do any more filming to do the final judging. We can go to the production trailer really quick and take a look at some of the footage.
So this is like the 80s or 90s. So she just like takes a little.
No, it's more modern time.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah. And she just kind of pops in a mint. She goes, "Oh, Buck, yes, I'd love to see your trailer."
Well, ma'am, it's actually production trailer. And so as you're walking away, as he's walking you over to the trailer, he says, "Ma'am, you're very kind. You remind me a lot of my grandmother."
Oh, why is your grandmother like 45 as well?
It's like, why no, why no, ma'am? I know, ma'am. So he gets to the trailer, and he opens up this production trailer, and you see there's like a long table. There's a few monitors on there. There's like a machine in between the monitors that allows to like look through, with dials on it. Presumably something that's used for film, production, movie production, TV show production, editing on the fly. And there was like a mini fridge under the table. It's a really modest trailer setup inside there because it's really just some places to sit, padded chairs, padded folding chairs, and and the stuff to edit the film. He's like, "Ma'am," he pulls out a chair. He's like, "If you sit right here, I'm happy to take you through and show you."
Yeah, absolutely, Buck.
And I could even show. I mean, I'm happy to show you how to operate if there's specific things you want to see. I mean, we're not trying to hide anything. It's at this point I'd like you to do your day move and roll that. And
is my day move my Maven move?
Nope, it's just on the reference sheet. It's the first move. It's called the day move. And you're going to use let's see. Let's do composure for you on this one.
Okay.
So it's your roll plus composure, whatever that might be.
Okay. That's also a 1. So, well, 8 plus 1 is 9.
Okay. So what is 1? So with a 9, that gives you an opportunity to find one concerning element or vision from looking through this film. What do you find?
So she sees earlier on in the day when they're setting up and Buck's testing the cameras, and there is you said there were like figureless face masks, or what were the masks that you referenced earlier?
So there's like in previous mysteries you've seen go by. You haven't been able to actually like tail them or catch them or whatever, but a few folks in like hooded robes with like these masks that make their face look like statues.
Okay, so you see Paul kind of go into his trailer. A few minutes later, you see one of these robed figures enter his trailer, and then a few minutes later, the robed figure exits. And yeah.
Okay. Is this one question? At what time did this take place?
So this would have been 11 a.m.
Okay.
About an hour before they started.
Yep, which would mean that this took place before he was found dead.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so I guess we can treat it however you want, but we saw the robed figure kind of near Paul's trailer then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's fine. That's good. Like we can say he went in and then got out.
Yeah.
We just don't
Yeah.
have to say that that's necessarily directly attributed to Paul's death. I'm just putting a little extra twist on it to add a little bit more meat on the bone,
Yeah.
potentially to take in whatever direction you choose. So we've established then that a clue that you discovered is one of those hooded figures that we talked about previously was spotted going into and out of Paul Riviera's trailer about an hour before they started filming, which we know that Paul was out during the beginning of filming, but then was found later murdered in his trailer. So that is what you get out of your viewing of the film. And we're going to go back to Dr. Jane, because I don't think we've gone to you yet. And you're going to be talking to Donna, I believe. Donna Riviera. That's correct, right?
That is correct. Yes.
All right. So yeah. So Donna's kind of like sort of walking by a little bit in a hurry as you, I'm assuming you try to stop her to have a conversation.
Yes, I do. And first, I'm sorry about your husband, Donna. My deepest condolences.
I mean, it's fine. It's not it. I don't. I mean, I don't even know what to say. To be honest, I love the man, and he scared me half to death.
I react a little bit with surprise at that. That would be the first thing somebody says when their husband's been murdered. But I continue with my sympathy, and I'm asking, since it is a crime scene now, were you living at that trailer with him? Or do you have a place to stay is what I'm asking, because you can't return there.
Yes, of course I have a home.
Oh, great.
All
I
right.
would have offered if you had no place, if you lived in the trailer. So were you separated at all, or you just had an arrangement?
That's my husband.
That's true. I didn't get along with my husband, so I would understand if you weren't living together.
I'd like you to roll plus presence.
I could do that. Because I would have had to anyway, because what I'm trying to establish is what their relationship was like and what this good friend Buck was to both of them.
Valid. Okay.
So let me get my handy dice roller out. That was only an 8, which I guess is a minor success.
Yeah, so we're going to say that you can get we're going to allow for one useful tidbit of information to come from Donna. What would that useful tidbit be about?
What? I have to be judicious about it. In addition to being, she said she was frightened of him. What do I think he was frightened about? Was it like her physical safety? Was he abusive? Or there's no way I would have known that Blanche saw a hooded figure go through the tent, so I can't.
Right.
I just want a sense of what she was afraid of.
So over the last few months, he's been much more verbally outspoken, mildly abusive, and was, there've been some physical altercations, but on a minor level, but starting to That's we'll call it that.
Okay. Can I push that with another roll and find out if she was jealous of him or he was jealous of her, perhaps?
Sure.
Would that be a reason or another presence if we're continuing our conversation?
You can try reason at this point.
All right. This time I'm going to use my inspiration die
Okay.
because I really want to know this.
Yeah.
That was a 10.
Okay. So he discovered. So what she doesn't realize is that he, like, part of the reason, and this is through conversation that you get this, that part of the reason why he's been acting the way he's been acting is because he told her out loud this morning, that he knows that she has been cheating on him with someone in the vicinity of his work, and he basically told her that she better watch her back.
Okay.
And that's it. That's what you get out of that conversation.
I'll be content with that. I suspect it's there's something to do with Buck, but I think she's going to notice me meddling.
She says, I need another drink. And she just shakes her head and walks away. So it's at this point that all of you begin to converge together back onto set as you hear Buck comes out of the trailer, Blanche, before you. On his way out, he says, ma'am, it's back on set in 2 minutes, okay? Please, let's make your way back. And he walks out of the trailer and he says, back to set in 2 minutes. Back to set in 2 minutes. And all of you are getting back together as a group, the four of you, over in one area by where all the kitchen bench areas are. Consuela is just sort of hanging out by your station, Birdie, while you're off in the distance talking to your mavens. And who's gonna talk first about discoveries? And let's have a conversation here. We can throw in, since we have two of the mavens that might not be here next week, and we haven't solved the mystery yet. We can carry it on for one more session and kind of finish it off there. So, who would like to share so far what's been discovered?
Well, I think I've found another link in our ongoing suspicion with those robed degenerates. I convinced Buck to show me the tapes in his trailer, and found one lurking around Paul's trailer before the competition has started.
Well, what
There
I
is-
found,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I found out that Donna Riviera may have been carrying on an affair that Paul had found out about. She did mention that he was abusive, which may have only increased with his jealousy. So whoever her lover is may have gone to his trailer in a robe to put him back in his place.
Perhaps the robes have nothing to do with it. I have done some investigation around our fellow contestant, Monsieur Lamb. He has quite the anger problem, I tell you. For no reason, he just snaps and yells and stomps off.
For no reason. Nice.
Additionally, Monsieur Timothy, our generous co-host, perhaps is not who he seems. He has a quite distinctive pendant underneath that sweater of a skull. I did not think such a happy-go-lucky man who can fall and roll and is generally light on his feet like Chris Farley perhaps also has a dark side that is maybe kept a little bit more undercover than Monsieur Lamb, who, again, for no reason at all, just storms off enraged.
Well, that.
Oh,
this-
by the way, Bertie, Consuela and myself and Blanche, we might have a better chance of winning the cake competition for no reason at all.
Well, I can tell you that the skull on Timothy, I am not surprised about that. I was in his trailer, and I tell you, the man is hiding indeed a dark soul. There was black hoodies and gothic music of this that broody, sad sap British stuff.
Tui on the Brits.
But yes, he clearly has a dark side to him, and there was something in his trailer that was it must have been bad fruit, but there was insects and buzzing. But the way from what I saw, maybe it was part of some weird ritual. And to be honest, I should, now that you mentioned the hoodie there, Blanche, or the masks, Blanche, maybe I should have looked in his wardrobe. It's something to think about.
Can we actually can we retcon the wardrobe for a second?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, you go back. So you're in the trailer, and before you leave, you're like, maybe I better check the wardrobe, and you open it, and you find an assortment of very, very blatant and obvious. We're just gonna call them sex toys to keep it nice and vague. Ball gag, some belts, and a few other assorted things that probably we like to keep this more in the on the gore side of the mature audience versus the adult content side. So yeah, we'll leave it there.
I don't want to tell you what I found in his wardrobe, but I'm sure Blanche would know a thing or two about them.
but Bertie, what was a thing in the wardrobe though that you saw that didn't really fit in with all of the other gear in there?
That didn't fit in with the sex toys?
Correct. Yes. Which one of these is not like the other thing?
Geez, oh man. I'm sorry. I'm
That's a
like
stumper.
Late. Yeah, like
all good. Would you like an assist? Or do you think you have something?
Now give me an assist. I need an assist.
Okay. You find a piece of a mask. It looks like a piece. It almost looks like part of or most of a Phantom of the Opera mask.
Exactly, because he was also into music.
Into the theater.
He was a theater geek. Yes.
So that's what you see. So let's see. I think all of you revealed what you spotted. Yes.
Yes. So. I would like to add further that I noticed, Blanche, that you only saw somebody enter or leave before the show started. So could it be that Buck did not show you all the footage that was available? Because somebody must have entered and or left sometime around the murder. We did not find anybody in the trailer itself. So either somebody with acrobatic abilities like snuck out the back window, the camera wasn't, or Buck did not show you the conveniently left out some of the evidence.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't see a lot of what I wanted to see in Buck's trailer, but it was cropped off to the side. So I guess if somebody was to make a egress, it could have been unseen.
So as you're kind of like talking through these last little things, the Sue comes over. He says, all right now. Let's all of you back to your tables. Dr. Wilson, I believe, maybe you could be off camera, off to the side, if you would be so kind. Thank you. And she ushers you off. She says, okay, Buck, everybody's in place. We're ready to go. And Buck says, well, that's just great, Sue. Thanks. I appreciate you. You're a solid, staunch professional. And I really thank you. And thank you for this opportunity. This has been great. Well, but Buck, I mean, it wasn't I. It was Mrs. Riviera that got you this job. What? Oh, really? Really? Yes. Well, yes. Yeah. Yes, actually. She insisted that you were the best. You were the best cameraman on the scene, and we needed to refresh our style. And I mean, I for one think you've been doing a good job. You're coming into your own. Why? Thanks. I mean, that's really great. And he starts to blush a little bit. And sort of like tussles his own hair as he scratches his head and gets his camera ready. It's at this point that all of you are at your stations. And you're standing by your particular cakes. So we've established that, let's see. So one more time, we have Birdie with the blood orange, dark chocolate, right?
Yep.
And then we have, what is it? Amuse-bouche? What is it called?
Croque-embouche.
Okay.
CROQUEMBOUCHE.
Yeah, you'll be able to say that again, right?
I could butcher it again for our audience, sure.
Blanche's cake was weird. It was like, what was it called?
Lane cake. It's an angel food cake with candied fruits in between.
And a cake for one. Cake for one, yeah. Cake for one.
I think I think that Melanie made a normal lemon chiffon cake.
So you're all getting ready to show your cakes. It's at this point that Scott storms in from the tent, and he's got his cake that's half smashed, and he sets it down. He sets it down in front of you, Yvonne, and points at you, and stares right at you and says, "What else did you do to this cake?" And then he says, "My sweet Pomeranian puffball is dead. She ate this cake. What did you do?" And that's where we're going to end.
Ooh, intrigue.
So,
That dog ate poison.
nice. Very good. Well done. Great ending. I'm just going to stop the recording right now so that we leave that as the ending point.
That can live in infamy.
Well. That was an intense one. Any ideas on who the murderer could be or what clues could lead to solving this mystery? It just seems to get more and more complicated. Tune in next session for the thrilling conclusion to the Great Brindlewood Bay Bake Off, brought to you by the Wednesday Night Crew. Thanks for listening, and as always, see you next week. Hello, listeners. Have you been enjoying the Wednesday Night Crew and our real play sessions of Eberron Adventures, along with our special themed one-shots, and playing other RPG systems like Outgunned, Call of Cthulhu, Basin, and Alien the Role-Playing Game? Well, if so, then maybe you should head over to patreon.com and become a patron, just like our first 3 patrons, Sean, Andrew, and John. For just $3 a month, you get your name mentioned in the podcast credits. More tiers will be added as our podcast family grows. Why don't you head over to patreon.com/The Wednesday Night Crew and sign up. You can even sign up for free if you don't want to donate. We're just happy to have you. We hope to see you there. Thanks for being a dedicated listener, and as always, see you next week.